Good afternoon to everyone. It's a sunny afternoon in Whitstable. I finished the day and I'm heading back home. Home. I'm heading back to my Airbnb in Herne Bay. I'm sitting on a bench, enjoying the view, beautiful view. In front of me, the sea, the ocean, and it's just perfect. Honestly, it's just perfect. So the story I'm going to talk today, it's set in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's about again. Guess what? Another synchronicity. One of the so many that happen at the time and they're still happening right now, almost daily. So it's about a girl that I saw one day walking on Queen Street. So her name is Victoria. Wasn't her real name, but that's a story for after. There's gonna be interesting things going on around this name. So when I saw her, I wanted to have sex. That was literally all I wanted. And there was a period in my life where I was led by my instincts. Literally, my instincts were basically they were controlling me, and I created, I generated so much suffering and so much dramas because I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know because nobody ever taught me, and you know, I I was just one of the many uh, guys that grew up with this belief that the man go after women, and more he has, and the greater it is. That's how I've been educated since a younger age, and that's what like society was all about. So I I didn't know anything else except that, and obviously, inevitably, I I I I done a lot of stupid things. So obviously, I wasn't conscious. I didn't know, and no one ever explained it to me. So I learned it in the hard way. Just making other women suffer, and then eventually suffering myself once I was the one to once I was the one to go through the same. So this is a so I saw this girl on Queen Street, and I just I wanted to talk to her, but it was like every time I I would see her, there was something else that wouldn't basically, it wouldn't allow me just approach her. So like once I was on the bus, and she was walking on the street, and I had to go to work. Another time I was walking on the street, and she was on the bus. Um, I mean, oh, one time I was working, and obviously I couldn't leave my job. So there was always something happening, always. So eventually, she walked by again in front of my cafe, and I decided that I don't care. I don't care. I left the shop unattended. There was no one. I was the only one working in that afternoon, and I went after her. When I was close, when I was really close, a guy arrived before me, and she stopped Victoria and started to talk and chat, and they went inside the bus and they left. So I thought, okay, that's gonna be for next time. I'm sure I'm gonna have another chance. So that the other chance didn't arrive, because one evening, a few days later, I was walking on Green Street with my mom, and I see the guy, I see Victoria, and they were holding hands. I was like, okay, that's it. There's gonna be another chance. So I kind of like move on, and one afternoon, so at the time I was like seeing another girl, and her name was Jasmine, and she called me an afternoon and asked me if I wanted to hang out with her and her friends in the Starbucks on Queen Street. So I said, all right, no, it's no worry, no problem. So I finished work, I reached them, and so the Starbucks was on 2 floors, they were upstairs, and when I arrived upstairs, who was one of those friends was Victoria. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. And obviously, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't tell her that I wanted, obviously her number, because I was seeing this other woman. So it's like, what's going on? Something is happening. Obviously, I was already aware about synchronicity, so I knew there was something happening, but I just didn't know exactly what. So I spent all afternoon thinking about how I could let her know about what I wanted, but I couldn't. There was no chance. So we left, and I asked Jasmine if she knew this other girl, and they just made up some story, and just like, oh, so you have her number, you're good friends. I say, oh yeah, no, I have a number. We're not really good friends. I mean, we're not close, but we know each other. So one evening that I was at Jasmine's place, and she was having a shower, I took her phone, searched for Victoria's number, found it, and saved on my phone. The day after, I messaged her and explained that I wanted to know her, wanted to go for a drink, but she told me like, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend, blah blah blah. All right, I was like, okay, you know what? There's no point. It's not happening. So forgot about, and I put my soul in peace, as we say in Italy. I think like it was for 3 months. Like I used to anyway, like seeing Victoria like every now and then, around Auckland CBD, and but I I didn't see her for 3 months more or less. So I thought that she might have left. But anyway, I didn't care anymore, so that really, didn't matter. So at that time, I had a friend, and we shared common stupidity. That was like, fucking around. And we one day we were talking about, sex, about women, blah blah blah, and I told him, I can't really remember what I told him, but he said, look, I know someone that likes Italians, so I can give you her number. Just tell her that you know me. Just tell her how tall you are, your body shape, and even if she don't see your photos, she will be keen to meet you. So I did. So I did, and she actually, like this woman, replied and said, like, yeah, okay. I said, let's meet at this. I can't remember. It was a Brazilian restaurant in Darling Harbour, and so we were supposed to meet like at 8 o'clock, and so I went to the restaurant. And 8 o'clock, she wasn't there. I sent her a message. She says, "Oh, sorry, I'm late. I will be there by 9." At 9, she wasn't there. So 9:30, she wasn't there. I sent her another message, and it's like, "Oh, I'm really, really sorry. I'm coming. I'm really coming." After 1 hour, it was like 10:30. She wasn't there yet. So I was really like about to leave, because there's like, this is ridiculous. It's like 10:30, and I've been waiting from 8 o'clock. So I see a cab arrive, and I thought, okay, might be her. And the cab stopped in front of the restaurant, but the back door opened, and when the girl came out, wow, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe it was Victoria. It was Victoria. I was like, I actually ended up having a drink with this woman I've been trying to meet for months, and she just show up in front of me like this. Like this. I was like, oh, wow, like this, this like reality. What is reality? What is real? What is reality? What we call reality? Anyway, this is something else for some other time. So we drank, we got drunk, and she took me back to her place. And when we arrived, by the way, chatting, she told me she was a student. Can't remember what she was studying, but she said she was a student at the university. But when we arrived to her place, her place was I think it's called Metropolis. So it was like a luxury apartments in a building in the Auckland CBD. Like, this is a building where flats are really expensive. Like you have to be rich. So it's like, how the hell a foreigner uni student can afford a flat like this by herself? So I start to have some doubts. the doubt was that she might have been a prostitute. So we went to a place. We had sex, and then I asked her, like, look, it's like, because I was drunk, otherwise I would never probably ask. It's like, how can you afford this? This is and then she basically told me that she was a prostitute. So the 3 months she was away, she was just in Sydney for work. Why? Because in Australian they have more money. So she went there, and she went to work, and then she came back. And that's how what she was doing for a living. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't care what someone does for a living. I do care. I mean, if you sell drugs, if you are a murderer, of course, I care. But if if you're a prostitute, nothing wrong with that. That's your job. I don't care. But and the other thing, her name wasn't Victoria. That was her name as a prostitute. Her real name was, I can't remember, but it was another name. And the other interesting thing was that my friend introduced me this woman as a Thai, because she, on the escorts website, she was like make herself. So she used like a Thai as a. She would just basically on her description, like she just say that she was from Thailand. I guess just to deceive people that might ever know, or maybe that might they might by accident find her photos. So obviously different name, different nationality. People might have thought that, okay, this might someone that looks like, but it's not her. So that it makes sense. If she really was like a uni student, that could have been. It did make sense. So we still, we keep hanging out, as a friends. We slept again another time, and then she started to have some feeling for me, and then that's when I stopped seeing her. So, I mean, I'm sure that the people that want to find a scientific explanation to what happened, they will say, "Oh yeah, it's a coincidence. Can happen. Blah blah blah." No doubts. Maybe no doubts that it could be a coincidence, but I, I had so many situations like that it could be a coincidence for you, but it's not for me. It's not in my journey. So this is just a note of the stories that to make you questioning, if it will make you questioning what I tell you, like life and reality, what we call reality, that I think is not real at all. It's just a bloody, really well-made holographic simulation. And if we understand the rules, we can shape it in the way we want. And I saw it. I witnessed it so many times that I can't shape it in the way I want. I just need to be consistent. I just need to be consistent. So you believe what you want to believe. This is just my story, a story I want to share. If it resonates with you, you know that you needed to come across my story. If it doesn't resonate with you, that means that your journey is different than mine. So you probably going through something else in your learning journey. Okay, it's time for me to go back home. I really don't want to walk back home. It's like it's an hour and 20 minutes, but I have to because that's where my bed is tonight. Okay, I will talk to you soon with other stories. I have so many. Have a good day to everyone.